And I'm now on the roof of the Maytag Hotel, small boutique hotel, very nice. And they have a roof you can go up onto, from which you can see the view around the whole of Cusco. So let's have a walk around. Can't actually see so much from here. Some of the surrounding hills. From this side we can see a bit more. Rooftops of some of the churches. The whole of the hillside has small houses all along the hill. The noise you can hear in the background, they have a marathon here today. So that's the noise of all the announcements in the town. I just found a better viewpoint a bit higher up. I'm here looking down into the courtyard of one of the adjacent buildings. I'm not sure if it's part of a church or something. And a quick view of the houses on the surrounding hills. We have a tour of the town starting in an hour. In the meantime, I have a bit of time to walk around, have a look at the place. This is a restaurant I've been recommended to, Chicholina. That's an interesting name. One of the many small squares around here. You see these small stands on every corner.
Mr. Robert, my work, good morning.
We're now in the main square. We'll probably be coming back here afterwards on the tour for a more detailed tour of the area and the places here. Just a quick glint around for now. However, even in the middle of ethnic Peru, we find foreign influence, for instance, and an Irish pub, of course. There are Irish pubs everywhere, even fish and chip shops. You can even get falafel. And would you believe they're selling sheep outside our hotel? Now starting the tour at the cathedral. This is now inside the cathedral. Just something I noticed as we were walking along.
Look at the vicuña, madam. Look at this. Oh, look at the vicuña over there, madam. Vicuña. It has the softest fab in the world. We have llama, alpaca, vicuña, guanaco. Guanacos are very wild and they don't like people.
We are now in Coricancha, which is a temple here which, before the Spaniards invaded, the walls, they say, were coated with gold and silver, which the Spaniards took away afterwards and left the bare walls. They have a special way they used to build here. As you can see, these blocks here, the walls are slightly sloping, and this way of building prevents the walls from collapsing when they have earthquakes, which they do every now and then here. It's survived for hundreds of years. There are many beautiful paintings here. This one is quite interesting. This is Saint Geronimo, supposedly painted in a cave near Bethlehem. And he was a great scholar. He translated the Old Testament from Hebrew into Latin. And the version that he translated was in use up until the 20th century. We're now entering Sacsayhuaman, also known wrongly as Sexy Woman. remains of old Inca civilizations.
La fiesta ahora la hacen en el cancha, en la plaza de armas y aquí termina con el sacrificio de la llama. Pero cada 24 de julio.
The theory is that this was all built in the 15th century. No one knows exactly how they moved these stones. If you look at the size of the people next to the stones, you can see how big they are. That big one over there supposedly weighs 120 tons. So very difficult to imagine. But if you look at the way the stones are put together, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. Quite amazing. These we see all over the place. Usually they want money from people who take photographs of them. We can get away with it sometimes without paying. We're now back in Cusco, and this is the main square. At night it's very nice, it's all lit up. Markets at the entrance to the Sacred Valley. A lot of these markets all over the place, run by the local people. Here we can see how some of these carpets are actually made. And of course we have the usual llamas and alpacas everywhere. And if you want to take a photo with the owners, of course you have to pay them. You're expected to, at least. It's an area of mountains, actually lower than Cusco here. It's about 500 meters lower. We now stopped at a place where we can see some of the not so well known animals. This is the vicuña. It has some of the softest fur in the world. We saw places selling scarves made from vicuña fur that go for about $850 per scarf. And this thing over here is the guanaco, also not so well known outside this area.
All right.
This is our guide for today. We are now just above the town of Pisac, which is a monarchy town in the area. These are the Inca terraces in the mountains here, where they farmed in the past here.
Bad energy they cannot come to you when you are wearing blue or purple colors. You have the purple. Well done. The main colors of the Inca was red, green, purple, and yellow. Those are are the colors of my Inca soccer team also. I love to talk about myself. Hello, Discovery Channels. Discovery Channels are always like holding giant cameras, you know?
Just now looking down into the valley. You can see the farming in the valley. It's done in small patches, small fields.
Okay,
The misty in the mountains in the back.
Venimos por acá. Este va a ser nuestro símbolo. Can you see at the end about group of houses? This is important. How many people do you think they were able to in Andean Puma City? Anyway, team, we have over there a group of houses also that is not a city inhabited by common people. That is just a select a group of people. That is just a militaries. That is just a fortress that was inhabited by the militaries in Incan times. That's why it's located right up on the mountainside on the cliff. When you want to get there, you will find the streets are that narrow. Perfect. You cannot go in groups, you just go one by one. Easy to protect that amazing place. The name is Ayacasa.
This hillside is actually an Inca burial ground. Doesn't look like it, but if you go closer,
You know, with common people.
you see the holes in the wall. Each hole is a tomb. This is where they put their dead. And the whole other side of the hillside is covered with these holes.
Gentlemen, I am local farmer. I need my necklaces flowing my land like that. Incas, they use like a ornamental leader.
And another general view over the whole area. Again, still misty in some areas. That's where we were before. This is how they do them in the oven.
Is that okay, Tim? First, let's go here on the right inside. Come here.
If they only knew what they were being bred for. It seems a shame to eat these things.
Okay, jetzt können wir noch ein Stück weiterlaufen. Also, okay. Ja, warten.
This is a general view of the market. Very, very big market here. Looks very similar to the old city in Jerusalem, just selling different sort of products. Not quite the same things you'd find in Jerusalem. This is where we're having lunch today. Looks pleasant. Ah, we have a parrot here welcoming us at the entrance. And before we get down to eating, just a little bit of a look around the place. And some of the food we'll be getting. It's self-service here, it's all buffet. This look familiar?
Merci mon grand.
see here is part of the same restaurant. Some of it's outdoors. The tables are all along the front here. It's a massive building. Outside we have a garden. Live music being played here. In the background, the usual people selling all their wares. And then a slope that goes down to the river. Llamas and alpacas around everywhere. Ollantaytambo, which is one of the most amazing Inca structures around. Unfortunately, I have the sun a little bit in front of me. I'm going to climb all the way up there, 247 steps all the way up.
To show you the most incredible, probably unhuman building in this world. Remember that? That is on the top of this small mountain. 247 steps we have to get there. But anyway, here I will tell you some explanation before we go, because I think not everybody's going all the way up to the top. Let me orientate you, let me tell you the time where and what time we're gonna meet after this excursion in this place. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in Ollantaytambo. Ollantaytambo. Ollantaytambo is located in between Cusco on that way. I think it's raining, huh? It's raining right now. You can see clearly. We just are running away from the rain. Ollantaytambo is in between Cusco on the south and Machu Picchu is on the north.
These buildings halfway up the hill were actually houses where people lived. Unbelievable museum. And onto the right, these were watchtowers. Which surrounded the whole hill. Some watchtowers even right on top.
How is doing the baby steps? Do you like the steps? Many guys.
This is looking down into Ollantaytambo itself, into the town. One of the few Inca towns that has been kept exactly the way it was. They still have running water channels going through the streets for irrigation. In other towns like Cusco, it's all been destroyed now and been built over. But here it is exactly like it used to be.
Sometimes you have to be in the building area. You want to have a proper opinion. You have to touch the water.
We're going up the hill, but a little bit at a time, with explanations on the way. So otherwise, climbing all the way up is a long, long climb.
I know sometimes the captain stopped the motor because this is our communication. When he stopped the motor, it means he spotted something.
Well, we made it to the top.
Just a point of my gun like this, I have to focus in that side. You know, even he doesn't have binocular, maybe Asian people, they can easily tell you which animal is close to our group by smelling. Snakes smell different.
This is looking down to where we started.
Different. Capybaras or armadillos, they can easily feel by listening also. That's why they live at the Incas. They
And the
were
town at the
with
bottom.
amazing keen eyes like falcons. They were able to see many people coming through. I think here we have at least a half an hour to join all everybody who is working. Okay, people, enemies are coming. Get ready, your stones. Shooting slingshots. If it is small stone in between, like a babe, Ladies and gentlemen, two big reasons. Number one, to make it easy.
This is the actual temple,
Why to make it easy?
built on the top of the hill.
Have a look. Lamentablemente, todos los templos que fueron considerados sagrados por los incas.
A view of the temple from a distance. As he said, it was made from very big stones. Because it was difficult to fit together, they left a gap between each of the two big stones and filled in with smaller stones later. Made their life a lot easier. Each stone here is 60, 70, 80 tons. And one last look around the top of the hill, the fortress, the watchtowers, and looking down into the valley.
This is alpaca, and this is sheep. Alpaca and sheep. Alpaca and sheep. Take a picture. For picture is now one, so $10 each one.
This is now in Chinchero, which is famous for its weaving.
To wash this wool, we use this natural detergent called Sacta. This Sacta is a root. This root we bring from the mountains, 3 to 4 hours from here. The most important, don't pollute the environment. Inca shampoo. Yeah. With this shampoo, we are washing our hair. The most important of this shampoo, don't pollute the environment. Inca shampoo. In this process, we use the fingers. Then we get a jar ready for dye. For dye, we use different plants. For example, this is Cacasunca. A stone screw, you know. And she has this colpa, the volcanic stone, to fix the color.
The town of Maras, originally built by the Spaniards. Used to be quite empty here until tourists started coming and started getting rebuilt and repopulated. You can still see the Spanish influence over the doors of some of the houses. That's our guide there in front of us. Today I have a tour all by myself, one-on-one. This is the main square, which is now being reconstructed. This is inside the municipality building, which is actually fairly new now. The reconstructed where the original building was. This is a quinoa plant. Stones here from the original buildings in the 16th century, which they're keeping here as reminders of the origins of the place. Even though the buildings have been reconstructed, you can still see a lot of the original portals of the gates here. Some beautiful work. Used to be a lot of wealthy mansions here in the Spaniards' times, and then in the revolution in the 19th century or 18th century, it was all destroyed. Eventually the place became a ghost town. Okay, we are now at Moray, the archaeological site where a lot has been reconstructed here. If we look down, we can see the terracing system which was used here for farming. This has all been reconstructed now, it's not the original. These were used for growing various crops at different levels.
In between those steps, there's a line on the wall.
The difference in temperature between where we are now and down at the bottom was about 10 degrees difference.
To bring water to irrigate, and the water comes from a spring way up there by where the trees are. So they carry the water into here to irrigate this. So the temperature down there is different. They have probably more
See
water
mountains
and
with snow in the background. They have snow all the year here.
so they could grow different things down there than up.
Also provides water which comes down to irrigate some of the lower areas. If we look down at the side, we can see that the construction work is still being done. Originally this is how it was all found, and then still working on reconstructing. And you can see the amazing work they've done here. Now down inside the terraced area, and you can see the way we came down. These are the steps, stone steps built into the wall. They're all the way around. And they say they're in similar to a sort of snake design. The snake has some sort of spiritual value for the farmers. Then we have to go and climb back up the steps again to get out. We're now getting a better view of the Chico Glacier. Driving along. It's about 5,100 meters high. We're now in the Moray salt producing area. There are thousands of small salt pans here. What happens is that the water comes down from springs. It comes down as salty water, the minerals in the ground. It comes down here and is trapped in these salt pans. And the water evaporates in the sun. And the salt stuff is then packed. You can see the salt packing plant down there in the bags. And it's transported out from here.
River Urubamba.
It's run as a sort of cooperative by local Indian communities here. They share the profits between them. A bit of a closer view. We've walked all the way down. You can see here the water channel. There is only one water source, which comes down from the hills. It washes down the salt from inside the rocks and brings it down here. And all these salt pans are using that same one water source, which goes between them all. It's all handwork. Walking along, following the water channel itself. The water channel sort of splits and goes in different directions, so that each part gets its own direct supply of water. The spring is just over there at the end, just the one supply for all of this. This is the processing plant where the salt is brought to. It gets carried from the salt pans on by foot, 50 kilogram bags, very hard work. Then it's brought here, they empty it out here, and it gets sprayed with iodine and probably some other things, and treated, and then it's repacked, and from here it's transported out in trucks.
That's the way they come.
This is the way it's brought up here. Can you imagine doing this all day? And sometimes he has to bring it from quite a long way away. This is one of these small local cemeteries. Chicken wandering around there. Now the Urubamba River, we're walking along the banks of. This is a typical local house. They use adobe mud bricks here for building. Doesn't look like much, but this is the way they build. Some of the local mode of transport, very similar to what's found in places like Thailand. See these inside the cities as well. Not sure I'd like to drive over this bridge. It's starting to rain, we're going for lunch in a few minutes. Good timing. This is now the road going down to the railway station. There are a number of different companies offering trains here. The main one is Peru Rail, but there are also other companies. Now the Inca Rail, and I believe there's a third company as well. The station is right down at the end. Of course, stands everywhere selling tourist souvenirs all the way down. With Ollantaytambo, which is where we were yesterday, with the terraces climbed all the way up. This is our train to Machu Picchu. Just arrived, now it's being cleaned before we get on board. Very comfortable train, plush seats. It's called a Vista Dome because it has open windows at the top you can see the view out from. You can see the view out through the windows. We're now travelling through the Urubamba Valley. The cornfields here. They have Vista Dome windows basically so you can see views like this above. The Urubamba River running alongside. Follow the river all the way. And you can get Peruvian music in the background. to us is a train if you really want to travel in style. This is the Hiram Bingham, more than $2,000 for return ticket. You can see why. I'm now in Aguas Calientes in my superior type hotel. This is the view from my room. Not very superior. But what can you do? That's what you get. The hotel is actually quite nice. The chimney right outside here. The room is okay. 2 big double beds in the room. Not too bad. Well, this is Aguas Calientes. The whole town is one big market. Bars, restaurants, hostels, hotels, Chinese food, Indian food, you name it, they've got everything here. Not a marvellous looking place, but it's the closest place to Machu Picchu. This is as far as the train goes. And here we get a bus tomorrow morning, about 6 o'clock in the morning, about half an hour from here to Machu Picchu. And of course we have our market here, like everywhere else, selling all the stuff for the tourists.
Sacudido por un enorme vuelco, Machu
takes us up to Machu Picchu in the morning. This is the view we have around here at the moment at this time. The clouds will clear up later probably. We are going all the way up there. Machu Picchu is up there in the mountains. To get into Machu Picchu now. Sunrise is in about half an hour. I hope we manage to get there in time. This is a moonflower tree. This is now the entrance. We got through the queue. There's still a long line to get inside. This mountain in the background, which you can just see through the clouds, is Huayna Picchu, which you can also climb up. You have to book months in advance because they only allow 400 people a day there. So we're not going to do that one today. Still very cloudy. First view in the background. This is the pathway we've been going up till now. That goes up to Intipunku, which is the proper name for Sandgate, which is a walk we may go on later. And then this one goes up to Machu Picchu mountain. Up this way. Quite a bit of a climb. Normally there would be a nice panoramic view from here, but as you can see, it's still very cloudy in the morning, so you can't see very much.
Inca king used to arrive Machu Picchu through this way.
Okay, so we are going up to Sungate now first. This is still the original path, the way it was made. The terraces below, you can just see there, supporting the cliff here. We're halfway up to Sungate, and the clouds are beginning to clear a little bit now. This is the view looking down. Still very misty, but hopefully it'll get better when we come back here. You just see the beginning of the sun coming out. This is actually the sun gate itself. So cool because it's in line with where the sun comes up in the morning. It was part of a small temple. Again, still very misty, so difficult to see. This is the sign with the official name, Intipunku, the sun gate. It's strange, if we look away from Machu Picchu, it has already cleared. The view is incredible here. This side is still some clouds, but much, much clearer. You can see the sun just beginning to come out there. And this trail down here goes towards the Inca trail. People walk for about 3 or 4 days to get here over the mountains. Long, long trek. Now we turn around and go towards the side facing Machu Picchu. You'll see the difference. This side, still all cloudy. Can hardly see anything. Hopefully it'll clear up and we'll get a fantastic view from here of Machu Picchu. And here's one for Robert. This is the Andean sparrow. There he is again. You wouldn't think this was a sparrow.
Very, very beautiful. Very bright colors.
An altar. We used to have worship sacrifices up here. And now suddenly it started to clear up. We're beginning to see the mountainsides down there. Sun came out and it's beginning to clear very fast now. Soon we'll get a good view.